All right. Can everyone hear me? Are you sure I'm being loud enough? Everyone can hear me? Okay. All right, everyone. Good afternoon. Before we get started, this is only my second time in Australia. Today is day one of Cisco Live, Melbourne. And before we get started, I would like to take a moment to pay tribute to the traditional custodians of the land upon which we stand, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. And I would like to pay respect to their elders, past and present. Now, hi, everyone. My name is Palmer Sample. I'm a developer advocate with Cisco Training Bootcamps. That's why everyone's here. Well, we'll have a slide that says what I'm here for, but I'm with Cisco Training Bootcamps. How many of you have heard of Cisco Training Bootcamps? I have. Has anyone attended a Cisco Training Bootcamp? Okay, then I have the right audience here. You're in the right place. Before we get started, before we get into the real fun stuff, I want everyone to sit back and just enjoy story time. We're going to talk about a very, very special network engineer, very special person. Well, special might be relative, but I was very special, and we're going to talk about that. And as I tell you about how special I am, this is starting off right. I'm special. Before I tell you how special I am, I want you to listen, and I want you to think about, I'll bet that almost everyone here will be able to relate to how special I am or how special I was. I'll bet that everyone here, and maybe if you're not on the front lines, if you're a leader, if you're in leadership, I'll bet someone on your team is special like I was. I got into networking in the mid-1990s, or late 1990s, something like that. My job took me out to California. I think we're competing. My job took me to California, Silicon Valley. Well, I was kind of naive. When I heard Silicon Valley, I had no idea what that was. I thought it meant somewhere in the desert. Silicon, sand, no idea it was San Francisco. And I got out there, and I got really good hands-on experience. And I learned this special thing. It made me special. It was called the command line interface. I'm special. I know the CLI. Well, when I was out there, my job roles, I kind of went around and I ended up in the Unix world. So back then I was at SGI. I worked at a couple of other companies, but I focused on Unix. I became a systems administrator. Well, before that, I had a hey, cookies. I had a coding background. I was a computer science major. I love programming. I love the logic. I love the problem solving. But I went out there and in Unix or Linux system administration, for those of you that haven't done it, a lot of what it is, it's repetitive. You do the same thing over and over and over. So what do? You start scripting. You know, there are different languages. Maybe there's shell scripts, or back when I was doing it, it was Perl. That was the new shiny thing. I couldn't tell you anything about Perl today, but I used to use Perl and love it. And in fact, my parents had no idea what I did. And other people would say, what is it that you do? I said, well, my job is to automate myself out of a job. All right. So fast forward, all these Unix years. And then then everything fell apart. I went out and I did this thing, which, I went a different track and I got into IT management and healthcare. And I did that for a number of years, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, man, I've got to get back to technology. The leadership thing, the management, that's not really for me. I've got to be a nerd because that's me. And so fast forward, I get back into networking, and now I'm special again. I've got that CLI skill, and wow, did I feel special because I've got these skills that other people don't have. I can get onto a device and I can type and I can make this device talk to that device and I can secure devices and I can do all of these great things. And I worked my way up to a senior infrastructure architect. And I started designing networks and working on, let's think big picture projects. And our company was building a new headquarters. And we started ordering all the new equipment. It's going to be greenfield, everything designed from scratch. Okay, great. In this time, I started on my CCIE journey in 1998. Finally got it in 2016. 18 years is better than never. But we had this new headquarters coming up. And we deployed all these devices. And sometime around this time, I was at Cisco Live, San Francisco, 2014. And there was this thing announced called DevNet. It was my first Cisco Live. And I'm walking around, I'm like, oh my gosh, I bought so many Cisco t-shirts, and as a customer, I was like, I've never seen this many nerds in one place. I love it. And so this thing was there called DevNet. And I walked by and I see these people like typing away and writing code and stuff. And I was like, I spent all these years as a systems administrator. I've done so much scripting. I was computer science. I've done programming. I am not a programmer. I'm special. I'm a CLI guy. I can make a network sing. And I thought, well, this is ridiculous. And fast forward a couple more years, that new headquarters site, guess what? It's time to roll out 802.1x. And wow, okay, so we had the maintenance window scheduled. And we had our maintenance window scheduled, and it's time. And I spent probably 2 months on that first switch stack. Of course, what do? I get the configuration from the stack. I save the text file, probably at the time. I guess I probably copied it from TFTP, something like that. I've got the configuration. I load it into Notepad++. And I spent a good 2 months going through every single, removing all the stuff I don't need, because I need the C3PL. I need to configure my .1x parameters. I need to configure MAB. I need to configure, everything I need for this. I need to configure all the interfaces. So I get rid of all the, the stuff I don't need. And I've got thousands of lines of interface, because at the time we had stacks, right? I think these were probably 3650. It doesn't matter. We had stacks. And I've got this massive text file, and I've got all of the configuration in there, and I've got every interface is configured for .1x with Mac authentication bypass, everything that we need. The descriptions are updated, everything. Maintenance window time. All right. Well, we've got 3 hours maintenance window for the first stack. All right, no problem. All we have to do, what do we have to do? We just have to, we've got all of our text file that we spent a month or two going through. And of course, our team, the humans, we all reviewed it. It's perfect, right? Of course, there's no errors in it. And then it's time. Okay, here we go. Countdown. And 3. All right, set the downtime in the monitoring system. All right, I'm going to go ahead and log into the stack. Pull out my configuration. I've got my Notepad++ in one monitor. I've got this huge thing over here. I've got my terminal over here. Okay, select it. Paste it. Uh-oh. That doesn't look like the whole config. Oh, my paste buffer on this terminal can only handle something like 50 or 60 lines at a time. That's all I can paste? 50 or 60 lines? This is going to take all night. I've got 5,000 lines that I have to paste in here for one stack. We spent the entire night going through this, and we blew the maintenance window by hours, and we still didn't finish the whole thing. And I know there were mistakes, because you try to select 50 lines and then paste it, and then, oh wait, let me make sure that I get on the right line, and I paste something in the wrong interface, and it's just a mess. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is a little bit ridiculous. We've still got stacks to go, and I don't want to do this again. And of course, sometimes you're really cool and you accidentally blow away the management interface, which means console cable time. Yay. So I realized at that point maybe that thing that I saw at that Cisco Live a few years ago, that DevNet thing, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I need to go back to where I came from on the system administration side and take that concept. My job was to automate myself out of a job. Well, I can't do that because I'm special. So I had no idea. Yeah, sure, I can write code. I've never written code to interact with a network device. I mean, sure, things like expect scripts or something like that, fairly simple things, or EEM applets. That's different, right? What did I do? Did I go to DevNet? No, of course not. Because, this can't be that hard. It's just some code. Well, here we go. Okay, let me try to figure out this Python thing. These brackets. What's the difference between the brackets and the curly brace and the parentheses? Okay. The way to automate networks is using this XML thing. I see that in a document. And it's this thing called netconf, and I have to use XML. So let me SSH to port 830 and launch the netconf app. And let me copy this hello payload and try to paste that. Now, what in the world do I do? Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is taking too long. Oh, wait, there's this thing called Ansible. Okay, I'll try that. Oh, YAML? What is YAML? Okay, hold on. I'll figure this out. It looks like some kind of configuration thing. And I'm going through and I'm trying all these things. And it's just, I'm not really sure where to start. Suddenly I'm not quite as special as I thought I was. Sure, I can still manage that network, but I'm having some problems. So I tell you this as an example. Don't be special like me. Nobody here wants to be special like me, right? And I'll bet that there are people right here in this group that can say, yeah, I've been there. Oh, yeah, so-and-so on my team has been there. And the other big thing for me is, if I'm learning how to do all of these things, if I need to learn this automation stuff, and I'm on a team of people and I learn it, that means that I am always the point of contact whenever there's a problem, right? We've all felt that one before. Okay, hey, cool, I've got this neat thing that I just did and this cool operations time saver. Well, I can't go on vacation without getting called. Great. So I can't be the only one to know this. I mean, at times it was just mission impossible, right? What do we do? Fast forward a number of years, and here I am in front of you in Melbourne, and I'm with Cisco Learning and Certifications. And that's where you are here, Cisco Learning and Certifications. So we actually, in the last few years, just before I joined Cisco, I joined in this role in May 2021, so a little over 2 years ago. So this offering is fairly new. And what happened is we realized that there are a lot of people, special people like me, right? There are a lot of you. A lot of you are like me. And you say, I know I need to automate. I know I have to do this stuff. Where do I start? What do I use? Hey, what's the best automation tool out there? Well, what do you want to do? What's your team? That's one of those traditional it depends answers, right? There's no yes or no. But we came up with Cisco Training Bootcamps. I joined in the early phase of this team. And our goal is to make this mission possible. Okay? We need to level up our automation skills with Cisco Training Bootcamps. Now, I say automation. We also have operations and troubleshooting bootcamps. We're gonna talk about that, our offerings here. We have 2 bootcamps focused on operations and troubleshooting right now. And notice these are both software-defined networking, right? SDA, software-defined access, and application-centric infrastructure, ACI. What these bootcamps are targeted for, what they're designed for, who here they're designed for are, I am going from legacy equipment. I'm going from all of my stacks. I'm just going from managing device by device. I'm going into that software-defined networking world. I have a controller. Okay. Well, guess what? Sometimes troubleshooting commands are a little bit different. There are different commands to troubleshoot in XOS in standalone mode versus ACI when it's managed by an APIC. It's actually a different operating system, same hardware, different operating system. But that's what our operations and troubleshooting boot camps are designed for. But we're here to talk about how not to be special like Palmer. So we're going to talk about automation. Automation boot camps. Currently, we have 4 offerings. We have Meraki. We have ACI. So if you notice, we actually have parity here. We can take you from the operations and troubleshooting all the way through automating ACI. The ACI track is one that I personally had involvement in creating the content for. So I'm going to have to say it's the best. No, it's not the best. We're going to get to that. We have Network Services Orchestrator, NSO. So if you're learning about device configuration templates or service templates, if you want to manage your networks using NSO, we have that as an automation focus. Very Yang heavy. And maybe this is the best. Okay, well, they're all the best. But this is one that we have just spent a great deal of time developing, Enterprise Network Automation. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that because some of these boot camps, in fact, almost all of these automation boot camps share some common focus areas, some common goals. But Enterprise Network Automation, we just got done. Our team just finished almost a year developing this. And we are in the final stages. We are going through line by line right now, every single step, making sure that everything is right. All of the code matches every step. We want to make sure that this is ready for you and that when you come, you're going to have the best possible experience. Now, let's talk about what the boot camps are, what the process is, what we do. There is a step down here. It's hidden. There's a hidden step. We have 2 different delivery modalities for boot camps. One of them is called open enrollment. Okay, and that's what we call boot camps for individuals. You know, hey, maybe you're on a team that's already been through a boot camp and we just had a new hire. We need to get that person leveled up. Okay, we're going to send that individual. These open enrollment boot camps or individuals, this is where you can go onto Cisco.com. You can see the listing of available dates that are upcoming, register for the boot camp, and you can just go and attend. There's another hidden option here, and that is boot camps for teams. Okay? With the boot camps for teams, it's called closed enrollment. Oh, incidentally, the thing I like best about the boot camps, maximum 12 attendees. It's a highly interactive, personalized experience. You know, our goal, we have less impact if we try to teach 1,000 people at one time versus if we're on a first name basis and there are 12 people in here. And this is going to be over 6 weeks. But with the teams boot camp, that is one organization. And we will have a kickoff call with you. And we will learn about your needs. Hey, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Tell me about your teams. Tell us about your background automating. Do you have any people? Is it just network people? Do you have developers coming in? You know, it's not just for networking people. We want to get everyone up to the same level so we can work together as a team. And we're going to talk about culture change in a moment. So with the boot camps for teams, it's a lot more personalized, but it's customized. We want to know your use case. What do you want to get out of this? And when we go through this, we will actually make sure that we have emphasis on these use cases that you're looking for. We are learning and certifications. We are Cisco. If you want to learn something about something Cisco does or something Cisco makes, I would say that we would be the authoritative source, right? Learning and certifications, we are here to talk about this. ILT, instructor-led training. Okay, boot camps are unique. We do not focus on a certification. We are not here to get you prepared for your CCNA or your DevNet certification. We are here to help you level up and be able to more effectively do your job and free up time. This right here, this instructor-led training, that is an initial 5-day instructor-led experience. Now, some of you have taken Cisco trainings before, And when you take these trainings, they are designed for usually a certification, right? This training is, say, 5 days, and all of the content is designed for this certification. Not with boot camps. When we create these boot camps, we have access to all learning material, and we actually go through and we handpick, okay, this boot camp, here are our focus areas. It's, say, enterprise networking. We take the relevant components of all available training in Cisco Learning and Certifications, and we customize this 5-day course for you. The whole point of this instructor-led training is to gain a common language. Okay? We have some people I've been instructing for 2.5 years in the boot camps. Sometimes we'll have people that come in that have a lot of coding experience, but not really networking or not network automation. We will have some people on the same team come in and say, I don't know what JSON is. No problem. This ILT is designed so that everyone gains a common language. What it's really doing is preparing you for the big part, and we're going to get there. But that's 5 days of customized content tailored for this course. After this, we have office hours. If you were a better student than I was, until they didn't want me as a student anymore, maybe your professors had office hours where they say, I'm going to be in my office for 2 hours. Anybody that needs some personalized, anyone that wants some personalized discussion help or tutoring, hey, stop in. Well, that's what these office hours are designed for. We just have a session that's running. We might have 2 hours, and we say, okay, now if it's a boot camp for individuals, it's already pre-scheduled. These are when the office hour sessions are. If it's a boot camp for a team, we will work with you to schedule on, your availability. By the way, no matter where you are, we deliver in your time zone on your schedule. I'm located in Florida, in the United States, the land of the mouse. And no matter where you are in the world, if I'm instructing, I am working in your time zone. Okay? So don't think, oh my gosh, these Yanks in America, I'm going to have to be up in the middle of the night to attend their boot camp. No, we work for you. So the office hours, we stop, you can stop in, discuss. At this point, it's, hey, what do you need help with? Let's make sure that there are no questions, that you have gained the knowledge necessary to prepare you for the next step, which is the DDL, or the Deep Dive Labs. The Deep Dive Labs, speak a common language. I think that slide was supposed to be when I said speak a common language. The Deep Dive Lab is a 4-day intensive course. Now, I told you that the instructor-led training is we pull the content and we match it to whatever we're teaching. The Deep Dive Lab, there is a small team of us. Right now, it is myself, the instructors, and myself, John Capobianco out of Canada, and Peter Pollock out of Belgium. The three of us are the instructors. We also create the content for the Deep Dive Labs. And why the Deep Dive Labs are unique is because these are heavily lab focused. It is not us talking to you. It is not us preparing you for cert. We use the 80-20 rule, and it's not like the old networking 80-20 rule where 80% of your traffic is supposed to be local to the VLAN and only 20% going out, which in the day of cloud-centric, that's gone anyway, right? We do our best. When we present this content, we're going to talk about the types of content that we present. We do our best to speak no more than 20% of the time, no matter what. We're not there to lecture. We just want to get you started. You're going to spend 80% at least of that 4 days doing nothing but hands-on labs. You're going to gain experience. And there are 2 instructors. Again, 12 people with 2 instructors. We give you one-on-one. We have experienced people will say, oh, can I share my screen? Yes, share the screen. That's how we all learn. We have access. We can see on the back end, but we are just there to guide you. This is a journey. It's your journey. We are there to guide you. We're not your teachers. We're not your instructor. We're there to help make sure that you learn. We start off talking about culture change. You know, back in the day, it used to be that network operations, those developers, right? Well, they can do their own thing. You know, oh, they're developers. No, I'm not a developer. They do the development. No, we need to start learning about culture change. And that's going to talk about net DevOps principles, how we can work together. And even if it's not some other team, how we can work better as a team in network operations so that we can start learning these new skills. And remember, one of the problems I said was I can't be the only one that does this because then I can't go on vacation. So this is going to talk about team principles, how we're going to actually start changing that culture to adopt some of these principles. And we follow this concept of crawl, walk, run, fly. Now, from what my parents have told me, I had to learn to crawl before I started walking. And then they said that once I started walking, then I was kind of a little monster. And not long after, I was running. And I'm pretty sure that at some point I felt like Superman, so I was flying. Well, in the boot camps, we use crawl, walk, run, fly. We start off with using Git, version control. We talk about infrastructure as code. And in almost all of the automation deep dive labs, you're going to start off learning about Git. You're going to deal with merge conflicts. You're going to deal with branches. You're going to learn, how to revert commits. And in everything that you're going to do after that, you're going to be writing your own code. And in everything you do, you're going to be creating repositories. You're going to be adding to the staging area. You're going to be committing those changes. You're going to be pushing if you need to. We're going to go through, depending on the track, I can talk about enterprise networking. We're going to go into Python. We're going to go into Ansible. We're going to look at model-driven programmability using Yang models, model-driven telemetry. At the end of that 4 days, you're going to be writing CI/CD pipelines. So, when I started, it's like, CI/CD pipeline, that's pretty advanced stuff. No, guess what? In 4 days, you're going to be doing your own CI/CD pipelines. And for example, with enterprise networking, we're going to give you a blank topology. It's going to have, I think, 6 Catalyst Edge 8000 Vs. And throughout this course, we're going to use IPv6. We're going to use OSPF v3. You're going to configure your edge routers, your core routers, your access routers. At the end of this, you're going to have a full CI/CD pipeline that configures your topology, NTP, OSPF v3, you name it, interfaces. So telemetry, dashboards, Grafana. And then when you're done, you're going to have code that you can take with you. And we also have code in our repository that you have access to. And it's not just hello world. This is code based on use cases, right? Hey, how do I do test-driven automation? How do I actually push changes out to a network device? How do I make sure that that worked? How do I write an Ansible playbook? You're going to have code designed for use cases that you can take with you. So once again, you can see we're starting to accelerate, and we have our 2 more office hour sessions after that. And this, a lot of times, where our customers come in and say, okay, I took that script that we did in class and I modified it and I added a couple more things because now I need to do this. And this is when we start actually doing some hands-on. We say, okay, let's work through it. And we work on it as a team together. And then as we go through, I had one customer that came to me in the second office hour session, actually the third office hour session, and said, okay, I learned so much. Check it out. I actually wrote this other script that took our inventory data from this other source, and we started, so it's not just tied to one thing. We want to open you up. We want to guide you on this journey. And the best part is you get continuing education credits. I don't remember the exact number. We can talk about that. We can discover that soon, but you have continuing education credits for recertification after the instructor-led training and after the deep dive lab. It's a very intensive process. But that ILT, those office hours, the DDL, that's spread over about 6 weeks in your time zone, tailored for use cases to help get you to the next level, speak a common language, and not be special like, someone that should have taken a boot camp and would have if it would have existed. So what next? We have 2 options here. I like option 2 better. Option 1, talk to your Cisco account team. When you get back to the office, talk to your Cisco account team. And, tell them, hey, I'm interested in learning more about these boot camps. And they will put you in touch. They will actually put us in touch with you. And option 2, which is my favorite, stick around after this and come and see me. And let's talk about how we can take you to the next level. That being said, I've got one final thing before we wrap up, and I've gone over time. A Fire TV. Thank you, sir. Everyone has a ticket. All right, everyone's got a ticket. Hold on. Doing my best to mix them up. All right, we're going to have a winner here. I have a feeling. The winning number is 163745. Winner? All right. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Please come and see me if you want to learn more about Cisco Training Bootcamps. Or, again, talk to your Cisco account manager, your Cisco account team. They know what's going on, and we will be in touch. Thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome to Cisco Live. Have a great week.